Shavy Carter, your host for today, with my boy in the building, Renegade El Rey.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Glad to have you. Glad to have
Appreciate you
you.
having
Looking
me.
good.
Appreciate
Sleeves, sleeveless. The weather is changing outside.
Man, yeah, it's a little warm out there. Yeah, I didn't want to be sweating today. They got me yesterday. I had on hoodies and whatnot. And I was sweating in the whip. I gotta
Can't
loose a
be
little bit.
having the wet armpits. But anyway, so thank you for thank you for sitting with me today. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Now, Renegade, I have heard your name around the city.
Really?
Tell me what you do.
First and foremost, I'm an artist.
First and foremost.
I'm a writer. I'm an engineer. So a lot of people meet me originally as an audio engineer, of course, because I manage Stank On Your Studio. So, that's where.
Shout out to Stankonia Studios.
Shout out to Stank On You.
Footprint of Atlanta.
That's where I'm always at. So that's where everybody always meets me, and it kind of builds from there. Most people don't usually meet me first as an artist, but some people do.
Right.
So over time, people get to know me and they get to realize that I do everything, and I actually do everything all the time. So where some people say, "Well, I do everything," it's like, well,
I really do everything.
Yeah, I really do everything, and it's not just because I just want to be a Renaissance man. It's just because that's just what happens to be.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I started engineering, to find my back way in the industry, which I did a little bit too well. So it's like now it's like that's just a part of me and a part of what I do. It was a trade that I'm glad I picked up.
So it was a trade for you. This was a hobby for you at first.
I ain't gonna say a hobby, but it definitely was a trade. Had to make myself valuable.
Right.
Because as an artist, everybody's an artist. They say artists come a dime a dozen, not the good ones, but everybody does music for the most part. So I just had to I had to make myself valuable, and me not wanting to have to leave the studio is like, what can I do to make sure that I'm the person that never has to leave the room? And
so as an engineer sitting behind the table, sitting with the artist, was it kind of a wake-up call for you one day? Why did you even come from behind the board?
Well, it wasn't no coming from behind the board. It was I went behind the board.
You went behind the board.
You get what I'm saying? So I was always an artist first, selling mixtapes, and you get what I'm saying? Yeah. I was the dude that was selling mixtapes at the gas station. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? It was before I went to school to be an audio engineer. So it wasn't so much of like, oh, I think I want to be an artist. It's like, nah, I think I might need to be an engineer to do something else, do something different. And really, I got the idea from Kanye, because he was always, well, not always. I saw in an interview he said that, he had an upper hand as a producer.
Right.
So he would be playing his records and playing his tracks for,
right,
people to get on his tracks, and then, oh, by the way, I spit too type deal. So it's like, okay, well, let me figure out a way to get in the dough as well.
So you this your roadmap, right?
Right.
So what birthed you? So what birthed Renegade El Rey to come back to the scene 2021?
Well, I mean, it wasn't. So for you, I just met you probably like this year, last year. Last year, right? Because we fresh in 2021. So, but I've always been rapping. I've always been performing from the gate. Even stepping behind the boards to be the audio engineer. I still ended up catching a few ears and still going on tour with Big Boy. You get what I'm saying? He blessed me with the opportunity to, take me under his wing a little bit as an artist.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I've been doing this, jumping out with the homie Jay Wise. We've been putting on shows for the longest, and, on Edgewood with the homies. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like I said, you met me in one light.
Right.
So to you, you're like, hey, so what made you want to come out? But it's like, nah, that's just happened to be how you met me.
Right.
And a lot of times when I meet somebody, whatever role I'm playing at that time, because I'm a team player, so whatever role I'm playing at the time, that's what I'm doing. Of course, like I said, first and foremost, I'm an artist, so I'm not going to, every time I meet somebody, I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm an artist, hey, I rap. That's what I do. You'll figure it out. You'll find out. You get what I'm saying? So it's like.
So you're you are a jack of all of these trades, but you're coming into mastery of your artistry.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, so that's where we're getting at. Okay, thank you for correcting me.
No,
I do this. This is what I do.
Yeah, I mean, if I said it like that, that ain't how I meant it, but that's what it is.
Nah,
I definitely do this on a high level, and just it's about getting more eyes
yes
on the craft and on the music itself. So that's where I'm at constantly trying to figure out more ways to help market and promote.
So let's rewind a little bit. Now you're based out of Atlanta. You've got a lot of your work done through Atlanta avenues.
Right.
But where are you from?
I'm from Memphis. All day.
All day.
All day, every day.
So, any artists from your city, dead or alive, who would you like to collaborate as a artist coming into this thing?
I mean, really, whoever's dope and whoever's doing something. Like I did I did 2 records with Project Pat last year before last. I wouldn't mind working with Boo. I like rocking with the OGs.
Right.
Me, period. But I shout out to everybody from the M that's doing their thing. I just love to see people make it out and make something happen. So if God see fit and the industry see fit that I do collabs with anybody from the M, I'm with it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. As long as it's dope. I'm not about forcing a record just because somebody got a name or because their name is bigger than mine. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That ain't if it ain't organic and it don't make the record dope, then I ain't.
Organic is important.
For me, it is. Like, some people might say, man, fuck that, go with the record.
Right.
But it's like if it'll sound for us. You get what I'm saying? If you own something that I ain't on, it just don't make sense.
So speaking of organics, what is your creative process like? So you are everything. You are the producer. You are the engineer. You are the artist. So where do you start in your creative process?
It just, I guess it depends on the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
If I already got a track, which I hope to always, that's how I start off. Like I'll wake up and might turn on a beat. You get what I'm saying? Or just go through my phone. Or maybe I jump in the car late at night going home and my phone might randomly, play an instrumental from a beat that people gave me. Because like when people give me tracks, I either load them up in my iTunes on my phone or I'll put them in my notes. So I might be like strolling through stuff. And when I jump in the car, the Bluetooth automatically plays something.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it might play a record and then I might, okay, that's fitting my vibe. Or I might actually thumb through a bunch of tracks that some of the homies gave me, and then I'm trying to find the vibe, what fits me, what got me feeling like what I'm feeling right now. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So the process usually just starts from that, from a vibe. And then from there I might drop a hook. Okay, I go and run in the studio and drop the hook, and then I ride to that. And then, as I'm driving, as I'm doing whatever, whether it be with the kids, whether it be moving, managing the studio, like lines are coming in my head, and then it's like, okay, I finish the verse, and then I go and I drop the verse. And I just piece it together like a puzzle kind of, because I'm doing so much. I don't have the luxury that a lot of artists do to just stay in the studio in my artistry mode. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I'm recording early morning, late at night. In the middle of the day, I'm doing everything for everybody else.
Right.
So my process is kind of like a piece together of whatever I got going on. And sometimes I might be on a wave. I might have a wave, and I might just drop hook in a verse and then move on to the next beat. Hook in a verse, move on to the next beat. Right, exactly. So I might try to touch at least like 5 or 6 records and set 5 or 6 vibes. That way, at least I know how I was feeling at that day. That's locked in. Wow. So then when I wake up the next day, I'm like, man, fuck all y'all. Wow. Then I drop that. You get what I'm saying? And I wake up the next day, I'm like, yo, let's get some money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I drop that. Yeah. So then when I come back, I loop around. It's already set. Now I can kind of approach it like a feature. You get what I'm saying? Because it's just me.
Right.
So unless I get a feature or I am jumping on it for the second verse, for the bridge, and I'm building it out, now I can kind of see it from a different angle, and I'm not just caught up in that same moment of exactly where I was at. You feel me?
So you wake up with these different vibes. Would you box yourself in as a rapper?
I mean, I'm an MC. That's what I am, first and foremost. So,
yes.
I'm definitely, I don't sing, if that's what you're saying.
Right, I was getting to that.
I could carry a note, but I don't sing. I write. Me and my homegirl, Cece, we write we write R&B records and pop records, from time to time. But I don't sing. That ain't like, I'm not looking to sing on the beat. I'm not looking to jump on for auto-tune. I rap. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm an MC.
MC. So, as an MC, do you think in hip-hop, knowing how to freestyle is something that is important to prove yourself in this industry?
Well, in today's industry, is it something that you have to be able to prove yourself? Nah, because that ain't what they own. But when I was coming up as a jit, that's what we saw, and that's what it was. It's just like, that's just one of the things that you got to have in your repertoire. So growing up, that's what I did all day. You get what I'm saying? I actually trained myself, just like I was just telling you now. When I wake up and play a beat.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I trained myself as a kid. You wake up and play a beat. Or I got to the point where I would wake up and just like freestyle as soon as my eyes open, you know, because people will test you and you have to start spitting off the top. You get what I'm saying? So I did that a lot, but I mean, I don't do it now. You know, after a while, I just got to a point where like, yo, like, I'm sick of niggas asking me to freestyle. I'm just tired of it. So it's like, you know, if you meet a basketball player, you ain't gonna say, oh, you hoop? Let me see you shoot. Oh, you hoop? Let me see you dunk. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you paint pictures? Let me see you paint something. So it's like after a while, I got tired of that. And I was just like, yo, I got some on the internet, or I got these CDs with me. They $5 you can grab one. You feel me? Like if you can listen to it now. If you don't want it, then give it back. I'm out your face. But I'm not finna rap right now.
You still handing out CDs?
Nah, I wish.
Oh, hey,
ain't nobody even got no CD players no more. Yeah, that was one of the things that led me to figure out something else, because I started running into people like, yo, I don't even got a CD player in my car, man. I'm like, okay, so first I thought niggas was lying. No, like, yo, you lying. And then you look, and it's like, okay, nah, he really don't got a CD player. So then as it started happening more, it's like, yo, this is dying. So I need another hustle. I need another way.
They got these little USB things.
Yeah. I mean, and when I'm on the road and we doing different shows or whatnot, I'll have records or like a whole like vibe on the thumb drive. So we'll be selling T-shirts, selling tanks. Yeah. You get what I'm saying, and selling thumb drives. Yeah. Or we'll do a package deal that'll come with the T-shirt and the thumb drive. You get what I'm saying? And you put that in, it'll have like whatever current project I'm working on or just dropped. It'll have the clean and dirty of that, and maybe like some other like little info and some different stuff. And you got a whole little vibe on the thumb drive right there with you. Yeah.
So we're living in COVID times, unfortunately. Okay. So pre-COVID versus post-COVID, what is the difference when it comes to having to market who you are and get your sound out there? Is it harder as an artist to do that now?
I think it probably can be. I'm not gonna say it is, but it can be. Mainly because, especially for me, it's better for me, for people to see me perform. Because people can tell you they rap or they do whatever all day, but when you see me perform, you're like, okay, he is the shit. You get what I'm saying? Like, because through conversation, I'm not gonna be hype about it. You know, when you ask me, do I rap? You ask me, yeah. Am I dope? Yeah.
Like, duh.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, you know, or I'll be like, I might even play it down and be like, I'm all right. You get what I'm saying? Or I'll let you figure it out. You get what I'm saying? Because you might not like what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's not me being cocky. It's just you might not like what I do, but I think I'm dope. And I don't think it's nobody that I can't jump on the record with. But, you know, not to digress too much, but as an artist, I feel like for me, it was a stumbling block, the fact that we can't just throw shows the way that we used to. But at the same time, you just got to adapt as a hustler. You got to adapt to whatever's going on. Right. And the internet is a big help in terms of different people in different areas seeing where you at and what you're doing. Right. So, you know, you stick to the internet a little bit, you know, but you got to figure it out, you know, other ways to touch.
How do you plan to do that? How do you plan to give the people Renegade El Rey? How do you plan to do that?
Well, that's a good question, because right now I just dropped a record called Like Nino featuring the homie Bobby Creekwater. And then I got a project called Levitate coming out. So, you know, through the music and the different streaming processes, different streaming platforms, you know, I plan to get that out that way. But we're also doing visuals. So we're making sure we're heavy on the visuals so people can actually see what we're doing. So in this time, you know, with us not being able to actually perform, now the visuals are even more important. So you can see that performance yourself. Right. You get what I'm saying? So for me, that's how I'm going to go about it. Just dropping visuals. I personally don't like dropping records without the visual same day. You get what I'm saying? Like we used to be like, I dropped the record. Okay, now let me figure out the video. But it's actually like, okay, when that record, and my homie's been telling me to do it, but now I'm realizing more than ever that's what got to be. When I drop the record that day, the video got to drop too, you know. And you know, I've been doing engineering tutorials with Waves Audio. They're a plug-in company, you know. So I've been doing tutorials with them, so people see me in that light too. So really, the brand of Renegade El Rey gets out via different avenues and different videos, should I say?
Seeds, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's funny you say that because I actually posted it on my IG this morning. It was like, you got to plant different seeds because you never know what come from what. And I just like to go wherever God lead me.
Look how we met.
Right. I met you working on my homie Mike Allen Film.
Shout out to
Mike Allen, All In Films. And that's a role I play with the homie. You get what I'm saying? Whenever he need me, he call me. Then boom, I'm there. I'm doing sound just like they doing your sound right now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So whatever, I'm holding the boom.
All
you
get what I'm saying? He was holding the boom on set for us.
Yeah. So that's. It's just when you rocking with people, you rock with them, whatever. Right. However we gotta do it. You get what I'm saying? And Mike shoot things for me. I got a video out called God, Guns, and Groceries, to a record that I did, and Mike shot that video. You know what I'm saying? So like when you rocking and y'all a team, and y'all really a team. So. Right. It's like you playing, I might have to be point guard right now. Right. And then maybe not. Maybe I'm shooting guard right now. You know what I'm saying?
So you're a Memphis native. How long have you been in Atlanta?
I've been here about 11 years.
Okay, so
off and on. I be going back and forth. So
where would you say you've gotten most of your influence from?
From Memphis.
Don't shit on your hometown, of course. But I'm just saying,
it's not even a shit on. It's like I'm from Memphis. So. Right. That's where it's from.
Right.
Of course, I'm a hip hop head. I'm a hip hop baby. So I view the game, the whole game, and I got influences from the whole entire game, whether we talking East Coast, West Coast, the South, you get what I'm saying, maybe even Midwest.
Right.
You get what I'm saying, the whole entire game and everything of it. But, like, let's not get it mistaken. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just the soul is different from a Memphis artist to somebody else.
Differentiate that for me. As a Memphis artist versus an Atlanta artist.
So, for one, Memphis, and anybody can tell you, even Atlanta natives, Memphis really is responsible for a lot of shit that people be doing. You get what I'm saying? Whether we talking about crunk music, of course you got blues, so that's the Delta, of course, like Mississippi, but you can't speak on Mississippi music without talking about, Memphis blues.
Right.
When people come to Memphis, first thing they want to do is go to Beale Street. That whole walk is talking about blues. You see blues artists and blues players. You go into these little shops and you got blues players playing at the restaurant while you eating. My uncle, R.I.P. my uncle, he just passed last year. He was one of them. He performed at like 7 different restaurants on the Strip. That's how he made his money. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So growing up, seeing that and being immersed in that vibe, people playing real instruments from the jump. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? That's what we know.
Yeah. So real instruments. We have a lot of what's it called? That thing Kanye be hitting?
A beat machine?
That right. So they're laughing at me behind the scenes, y'all.
Listen.
Look, so what with your music, do you feel that it is important, even with being an MC, hip hop, rap artist, it's important to keep that real, natural sound, authentic strings and horns and drums?
To each his own. I'm going to say that first off, to each his own. Second, I say in today's production abilities, maybe it also depends on how much you spent on your equipment, how much you spent on your plugins, your VSTs, because I say that because you have some samplers that can sample or give you a different bank of samples that actually sound real. You would never be able to tell. You get what I'm saying? And depending on how you played it, depending on the how your pads are set or how your keys are set, because different keys you can hit a key a certain way, whether it's softer, lighter, harder. You get what I'm saying? And the attack on that beat or the attack on that sound, what's triggering that sound. It's so many different things that you can affect to make it feel real. You get what I'm saying? You put some swing on it.
Yeah.
It's all kinds of things. But for me, I say, throw in some real something. Like if we got a bass line and we playing a bass line, maybe the homie played it so dope and so smooth that it really don't need a live bass. But maybe if we throw a live bass in there to give it some movement, now you feel me? Now we cooking on a different level.
But you see that you see the difference in our 90s vibes versus our now vibes. Do you feel that there's a different frequency there? A different does it differentiate that much?
What you can't hear, you can feel.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Is it feel good music to you still? This music.
Some people still do it.
I ain't trying to get you to,
I mean, I'm not worried about nobody. What I say is what I say. I'm not here to, shit on nobody. Right. But what I say is what I say, and how I feel is exactly how I feel. But when we talking about digital, and you talking about analog, or you talking about synthesized music, and you talking about real instruments, it is a different feel. You get what I'm saying? So, if we talking about digital and analog, if I'm on my engineering vibe, digital and analog, digital is just ones and zeros. It's just computer language. Right. You get what I'm saying? So that's going to tap out a little bit sooner than your analog sound would have tapped out. Your bass can go a little bit wider than it can digitally. It's going to tap out. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So to say somebody can make feel-good music better in the 90s opposed to now, it really just depends on what that person is doing.
Right.
But in terms of sonics, yes, the possibility is more for you to make something that's going to give you a actual vibe, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The dynamic range is more if we talking like sonics or something like that. But in terms of like you putting something together, it could be whatever. I could put something dope together off of a piano, and look at John Legend. We just ordinary people. It's just a piano and him. You get what I'm saying? But like you got some people that can put together a lot of different vibes off of digital and it still be dope. You get what I'm saying? As long as it's just not fuzzy. Should I say? But fuzzy is fuzzy and distorted ain't always bad, because a lot, like we talking drums right now, a lot of people make their drums distorted on purpose. So
let's back up a little bit. Before you became Renegade El Rey, did you always know that this is something you want to do? You was talking about growing up in Memphis and seeing things as a kid. Did you always know?
I ain't gonna say I always knew. I always knew. I always appreciated music, and I always, did music, should I say. So my pops, he sings. So, he wasn't a singer, but my pops sings. So, I was raised up in just music and stuff. My mom, she sung around, too. She was in the choir. So I ain't going to say I always knew that was what I wanted to do until probably like middle school.
Okay.
So as I got into it more, and then I would do it more and more for, whether it's like, just releasing some energy or, trying to get my own frustrations out on paper, After a while, it's like, you know what, this is what
So it started as therapy.
Yeah, it's always therapy.
For you.
It's therapy now.
Right.
It's therapy now. Right. So, like, some people might say, well, why you want to drop a whole project opposed to just dropping singles? Because it's therapy.
Right.
I got to get that
story.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotta get it out. If I don't ever get it out, then I feel like it's still on me.
Right.
That's just me.
I like
That's
that.
like some people want to, cut their hair. Some people feel like when they cut their hair, they let a lot off. You get what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. I feel like I cut ties with that.
Yes.
With that feeling when I released the project.
Because baby, when I cut this hair off 2 weeks ago, I felt like a brand new person. So real. So tell me about the name Renegade El Rey.
Okay.
Tell me where it came from. How did you adopt that name?
Renegade, that was my vibe. After a while in high school, you searching for a name that might fit yourself, and my mom would say I'm just a renegade, or she'll call me like a rebel without a cause type deal, because I was just like my kids do now, like I just did what I wanted to do. I always felt that way. So I looked up what a renegade was, and then I was like, yeah, that is me. Somebody that goes against the grain and does kind of like what their own path type deal. So I was renegade, and then speaking Spanish, because I took a lot of Spanish classes. Speaking Spanish, I think I said Renegade El Rey por siempre in a verse or something like that. And then one of my homies, M Easy, he used to always say, El Rey por siempre. He just used to always say that. So then, Renegade El Rey is like, okay, it's stuck. Yeah, that's the move. You get what I'm saying?
I love it.
Plus, I used to call myself I used to say Renegade the King a lot. And then in 2000, somebody from Atlanta dropped. And then he was the king. Shout out Tip.
Right, hello.
So when Tip dropped and he was like the king, then it's like, okay, I'm gonna stick with the El Rey.
Yeah.
So it's Renegade El Rey. Yeah.
Yes.
So but that's what it means. Renegade the king.
Yeah.
El Rey.
Thank you for the Spanish lesson, because I was about to ask that next. So is that me?
Yeah, right.
The king?
Right.
All right. So my next question would be for you to tell me, you were talking about the OGs, You tell me that you respect the OGs.
Yeah, got to.
You of course.
Right or wrong.
Right or wrong. So in the studio, what is the some of the best advice that you have gotten from the people you look up to the most?
When it comes to making music, I think one of the better advices that I got was always go with the vibe. So a lot of people try to conjure up records,
right?
But then it seems it might feel like you just made something. You know what I'm saying? It might not make you feel.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
right.
Big always taught me, to go with the vibe
Big
and
boy.
go with Big Boy. Shout out Big Boy. Shout out Outkast. Shout out Dre. But Big always taught me to go with the vibe and go with how you feeling and how the record makes you feel. So it's like it's like Alice in Wonderland. You know what I'm saying? You jump down the rabbit hole on a beat on a vibe and you just going. You get what I'm saying? You just creating and sculpting.
Yes.
And you let it end where it ends.
So what would be some good advice since you've gotten such great advice from the OGs? People looking at you, you have reached levels that no one knows about because you're such a behind the scenes type person. What would you give advice? What kind of advice would you give to someone looking at this interview right now in your previous shoes? Man. What would you say to them?
It's always weird because like I don't see myself so much as a person to give advice.
Really?
You get what I'm saying? Just because I'm still striving myself,
like me.
But I'm definitely not where I used to be.
Right.
So to answer your question, what could I give somebody that might have been in or might be in the shoes that I was in is, you just find your way in. Always be original. And always go with the flow.
Important. Those are 3 important keys. Those are some gems right there. Wow.
I mean, it's so much more that you can tell somebody. But if I was just to give somebody something quick, I would say that because, like I said, like we said earlier, planting seeds.
Yes.
Like I never. When Mike asked me if I could start doing the sound for his films, I was like, bro, I don't do sound for films. He's like, it's the same thing, which it ain't. You know what I'm saying? But it's the same like basis.
That was him to get you
on
board.
Right, that's just what he just said to get me on board. But as I started doing, I started rocking with it, and it is a little simple depending on what you're using. But I say that to say, had I not started doing that, I wouldn't have met a lot of people that I rock with today, including you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So just always go where God gonna take you. You know what I'm saying? Fighting the tide, you might drown.
Say it again. I'm serious. What?
Fighting the tide, you might drown. I guess that's what I said. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It just.
You just be speaking from the heart.
Right. That's what
I love it. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to get out there to anybody that's watching this interview?
I don't know. I think you asked. You asked me about being an artist, and a lot, and more so. That's in these interviews. I always want to get that across because a lot of people think I'm an engineer that decided I want to rap. Nah, bro.
Check
like
me, boo.
I've been doing this for a while. You get what I'm saying? Yes. It's just the level of promotion has to progress.
We've been talking about you being an artist this whole time. Do you have any upcoming projects?
Yeah, I actually just dropped a record called Like Nino with my homie Bobby Creekwater. And I have an album, or it's really an EP. So I have a EP dropping. I believe the date that we're going to sit on is going to be April 22nd.
Okay.
I drop stuff on people's birthdays because since I am indie, we drop when we want to type deal. So I like to drop records and projects on people's birthdays. So like I dropped Like Nino February 19th, which was my dad's birthday. And April 22nd is my daughter's birthday. So she'll be 2. So I'm dropping.
So why is it important for you to drop a whole EP versus a single?
Because I like I was saying earlier, I like to get a whole set of vibe or energy out and off. I feel like it's easier that way for me to get that whole feeling off. Not only that, but growing up as a kid and seeing people drop projects, I know it's a new day, new time, but I still kind of want to give you a body of work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what better way to give you a body of work and to give you how I was feeling completely in that moment, in that space, then give you at least an EP.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At least 7 to 8 songs. You get what I'm saying? Maybe 10 songs. And given just how things are going, I probably wouldn't go past 10 records, you know, on a project. But I think 10 records, at least 5 to 10 is adequate enough to give you a whole vibe of where I was at mentally. You get what I'm saying?
That's your goal.
Yeah.
To let your fans and new fans know where you were at that time.
Right. Because anybody that has been following me up to this point, they know that what you hear is exactly what I'm on. Like when I dropped the record God, Guns, and Groceries, I was like at the height of the pandemic, like when it started, when we first got shut out of everything. You get what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, I'm describing to you what I'm seeing as I'm driving. I'm driving through, going on to get me some groceries, to try to stack up on some groceries. But while I'm doing that, I see that the school bus done stopped and brought these kids some food because, you know, some kids, that was their only source of food. Right. And we done grew up with folk like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's their only meal is breakfast at school, lunch at school, and then they might snack, you know what I'm saying, snatch a snack or something on the way out, you know, whether it be vending machines or maybe they bought a couple extra chicken sandwiches or something. Part. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can't wait for it.
So that's where God, Guns, and Groceries came, and then the record that came right after that, which was Declaration, which I'm talking about, okay, we need to buy some more. I need to buy some more straps. I need to buy some more bullets. I'm out here working out. I'm running. I'm doing push-ups. And my mind is different because I feel a war coming on. And it's just like that's where I was at. That's where I still am. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like all these vibes that you just got to get out. And so, like I said, as a listener, that's what people hear. So it's important for me to definitely give you exactly where I'm at. Right. That's what MCs do. We report.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You give you the daily report, the monthly report, the yearly report, the hood report, the bird report if you from the burbs. You get what I'm saying? Wherever you from, that's what we giving you to report at.
Well, I look forward to seeing your growth over each
Appreciate
EP
it.
that you drop.
Yeah,
each
everything.
album you drop. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Allow Renegade to reintroduce himself. I love it. How can we find you on social media?
Renegade _EL_REY. Renegade El Rey. Yeah, I'm there on IG, on Twitter. If you still on Twitter, you know what I'm saying. I think I just started my TikTok. I gotta get used to TikTok. I really don't be. I try my best to be on it, but I hate being on it because it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. I gotta stop and make a picture. I gotta stop and make a post. Like, man, you get what I'm saying. But I mean, it's all tools for promotion, so you gotta do it.
Yes, unfortunately, hire somebody to do it for you.
Yeah. I do it myself.
Renegade.
Yeah, I don't want nobody making some off-brand comments that I ain't authorized. You get what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's great.
I love it. Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you.
Appreciate y'all having me.
It has been a pleasure to have you on our show. We're going to wrap this thing up. It's been real. I am Chevy, Renegade El Rey in this thing, and this is Atlanta Unplugged.
Yeah.